And we are live. Back at it again. Nosebleed Section is back for another episode. I am your host, as always, Mr. 98%. I'm joined by my guest, my good friend, my colleague, the other 2% of Sportsmark, Mr. Paulinho. What's up?
Or
Week
like my
one.
girl, like my girl likes to say, pulling hose. I was like, babe, how the hell did you get pulling hose from Paulinho? She's like, that's not Paulinho. I was like, yes, it is, baby. Yes, it is. That is Brazilian Paulinho. She's like, it looks like pulling hose to me. I'm like, baby, Paul, baby, Paul. How'd you get pulled from Paul, baby? Oh
Oh my!
man. I was like, you lucky I love you, baby.
Oh my God!
Quick shout out to my boy Andy. I don't know if he's watching. My boy Andrew, he's out there watching the Scorpions concert over here in Tampa at the Amalie Arena. Hope it was a great concert.
Yo.
And some friends of ours were at the Rock Prudential last night
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
Wu-Tang Nas concert, which I will be attending when they come here to Tampa.
Shout out my boy Abdul Hanks, my offensive coordinator for my freshman football team, and he also is a varsity coach as well. He was at that same show. Said it was crazy. He showed me like 30 different videos from it. People were going in there left and right. It was wild. It's a wild time. But with that, we will get on to our show. We're on to week 2 of the NFL season. Last week, uh, we were pretty wrong last week. A couple of different matchups, which was very surprising. But I mean, I went 8-7. Paul went 7-8, and of course, the freaking Colts and the Texans tied and just screwed everybody over.
How
But
the hell the Colts gonna tie with the damn Texans? Golly.
yeah, Texans like Colts fans, what are we doing here? You're
Right.
tying week 1, the Texans.
Here's a crazy stat. If I didn't know, the AFC South is the only division that came out with no wins this past week.
I saw that too. I saw that,
bro.
That's really bad, really bad. Oh man.
It's terrible. It was terrible. Terrible.
What did we miss on? That's what I want to know. What did we? I know we missed on the Niners game. I know we
Right.
missed on the Packers game.
We're missing the Bengals game.
We missed on the Bengals.
We're
I
missing the
think we
Cards
missed.
game and the Broncos game.
Damn.
The Broncos game was actually close, but I didn't expect Geno Smith to do what he did.
But he did.
Like I was asking my friends, like, is his mama there? Like, is she there watching? Like, who is there? Like,
Yo, my man was showing out for somebody. My man outplayed Russ. Like,
yeah.
And then I mean, not to mention that play calling at the end, I just didn't understand it at all. Like, you really bled like 30 plus seconds off the clock, took a knee to go for a 64-yard field goal. Like, you
in Seattle.
In Seattle. Like,
Yeah.
you paid all that money, you gave up all that capital for Russell Wilson to get to a 4th and 5 and take the ball out of his hands. Like, this is one of your franchise guys who's supposed to get you to the next level, possibly the playoffs or a Super Bowl run, right? And on a 4th and 5 with what I think it was like 40 something seconds to go in the game, you decide to snatch him out and place it on the leg of your kicker, who got his warm up kick and missed it, and then went for the game winning one and missed it the exact same way. But you did all that to go get Russell Wilson.
If it was in Houston, if it was in Atlanta, if it was in New Orleans, in any dome location or non-windy location, I'd be like, all right, there's probably a slight chance he might make it. But Seattle, shit's windy, bro. This shit's not. Seattle, Chicago, MetLife. Those are 3 places you want to be careful with your field goal kicker. You know.
I don't know what they were taking on that one. That was probably one of the worst calls I've seen all the entire week. Oh
Yeah.
man.
So
Um,
The Bengals, and the Steelers was. I was worried about that. I'm like, are the like? There's no like. We talked about this Super Bowl hangover. We were concerned about this. I didn't think it was gonna be
yeah,
this early. I didn't think it was gonna be this early. I didn't think it was gonna be this bad. Like,
but you know what's funny though? I figured we talked about Super Bowl hangover for the Rams, but not so much the Bengals because I didn't think they were really going to suffer the Super Bowl hangover. I thought they
well,
were going to come out more hungry because they lost in the Super Bowl. That's what I
this
figured.
and that's the thing. The Super Bowl hangover usually tends to be on both teams. It's
Yeah,
because if you think about it, nobody since the Bills has literally gone to Super Bowl that many times. No matter, just even if you lose it. But that's the thing, people don't give the Bills credit. They went to like 4 different Super Bowls. Yeah, they lost it, but the fact that they went to 4 straight is a tough task in itself. It speaks volumes for that team. And it's just tough. I mean, I don't like who's gone back. Like the Patriots have gone various times, but
Patriots gone back. The Seahawks went back to back, right?
mm,
I want to say they
the,
went back to
the
back. I
the
can't.
Rams went back to back.
Yeah, they went back to back. I thought the Seahawks did when they killed the Broncos and then they went back and they faced the Patriots and they threw on the 1 yard line.
I want to say I think there was like it was they won it, then they failed, and then they made it again. I don't want to say it was consistent back to back. It was like every other year they made like that.
Maybe I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll look into that one.
I think
Um,
The Broncos with Elway went back to back. I think, but anyway, going back to it. Yeah, the Bengals is going to be interesting to see what else happens for them this season. The
Joe
Steelers,
Burrow played his worst game of his career. Like 4 picks.
yeah,
Like he, your audio's going in and out, but yeah, I don't know what that was. Like he I was watching ESPN and it was like Dan Orlovsky was talking about him. I watched a couple different outlets and sources. And a lot of people were just like, he just wasn't seeing the field. Like he wasn't going through his progressions. He wasn't even reading his progressions right. And it was just looking. He looked really like just slow. Now, like you said, they were like, he looks like a guy who didn't play preseason, who didn't get a ton of work in the offseason, and didn't play preseason. That's what he looked like. He didn't have those live game reps. It's different than a controlled simulated practice. But he looks like a guy who's just out of whack. Because remember, he got hurt and he was just driving around on the little golf cart during
yeah,
practice. So it's like I don't know. Like that's what a lot of people were saying. Different various outlets were all like he just looks rusty, and that was probably his worst game as an NFL quarterback. But I mean, how about like the kickers? Like that's what threw me off. I'm just like, and you have their kicker Evan McPherson, who was like automatic last year and got them into the playoffs off his leg.
I
He's
drafted
missing
him.
like he's missing like 27 yarders and everything. I'm like, what is going on? Like,
Yeah, it was a tough outing for the Bengals. Bengals fans probably annoyed about this one, but it's going to be an interesting case to watch them and see where they go. They should win this division, as I think we've said earlier already. Last week they should win it. This is a tough game. Their division is tough, um, but it's still early. I wouldn't count anybody out yet.
yeah, yeah,
The Bears was no one that surprised me too.
yeah. It was funny because we both called the Niners on this one, and it was just an ugly, hard fought win. But at the same time, it was just like I know the Niners weren't ready for that weather. Yeah, obviously, out in sunny California, like they weren't ready to go into nasty Chicago and play a mud bowl, or just
Oh yeah,
heavy run and like downpouring rain and wind. Like they weren't ready for any of that, and
and
it
they
just
lost Elijah
showed.
Mitchell.
Right, I know, and I freaking drafted him on fantasy, of course, but like whatever. He had him and Trey Lance didn't play well. Like they were not ready at all. The Bears took complete advantage as they should have. As they should have. So good for them. Shoot. I'll tell you who looked good. Julio Jones looked good. He looked good on the Bucks. He was kicking Trevon Diggs' ass. I mean, who hasn't been lately? But
Well,
I
and that's
mean,
the thing. Trevon Diggs, like, yes, granted, he can pick you off, but his coverage has been questioned plenty of times. You know, it's
yeah,
been questioned, and then the thing is that he gets by is that he had like what I think 7 picks last year, 7, 8 picks last year in the season, and that's a
7. I
lot.
want to say.
Yeah, and that's a lot for during the season. You know, so it's like, do you want to throw that way? You kind of want to, but the coverage bad. But if he jumps into that coverage route, gets it, like, you get burnt because he could return that ball. He's a good returner. So
Yeah,
the Falcons and the Saints, we picked that one right, but what shocked me was how close that game actually was.
right, right. Because I remember at halftime I was looking and like the Falcons were winning like 20-7 when I was just like, the hell is going on?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm like,
like,
I'm like, wait, aren't the Falcons on the rebuilding? I wanted to call my boy Cam over in Denver because he's a big Falcons fan. I wanted to be like, yo, Cam, I thought you guys were rebuilding. What the hell? How you beat the Saints, bro? Like, you're supposed to be rebuilding, man. What
yo,
the hell?
Jameis Winston had like 50 yards passing at halftime. Like, it was just ugly. I was like, are y'all really about to lose to the Falcons? And then like Falcons gonna Falcon and like just nope, prove me wrong. Like, I was like, yo, like y'all was a straight first half team. Like whether it was Super Bowl against the Patriots or Week 1 against the Saints, you just blow the leads. Like it was just bad. Like Saints came right back. Jameis Winston had like 200 something yards passing in like the fourth quarter alone. Lit him up. Came back and won. I was just like, Jesus, like, it's like so
Yeah,
bad, bro. It was so
yeah.
bad. Oh my god. How about your Jets? I'm sorry.
I thought it would be closer than what it was. I
Yeah, I did too. I
thought
have
it
to
would
be
be closer
honest
than what
with
it
you.
was. So, like, we were effective in the first half. It's just some dumb mistakes that we were doing that cost us. And the second half, it just got worse. So hopefully I'll clear it up for this week. There's against the Browns. Keith, if you're watching, I ain't forget, Keith. If you're watching, Keith, I ain't forget. It's still on. So we'll see. And speaking of the Browns, uh, they beat the Panthers in luckily because the Panthers almost pulled that shit out with Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't too. I mean, I'm not gonna say I wasn't worried about it, but like, cause I'm not worried regardless. Neither was my team, but like, I had the Browns winning anyway. I don't think the Panthers are honestly that good of a team. I don't think Blake Mayfield's that good of a quarterback. I think he's all right, but like,
Captain
I don't think
Petty?
he's. Huh?
Captain Petty?
Yeah, like he's all right. I don't think he's amazing in the right home bout. But I think he's all right, but I thought the Browns were going to win anyway. Like, and Jacoby Brissett, everybody just talks down about Jacoby Brissett. But I'm like, yo, all he has to do is not lose the game. Like, there's a difference between not losing it and winning it. As long as man, like he's a solid quality not starting, a solid quality quarterback where he can step in and spot start. He can provide you that. Like, you can turn around and he has a good offensive line in front of him. You can hand the ball off to Kareem Hunt. You can hand the ball off to Nick Chubb. Hit a couple play actions. Hit your receivers. Play sound defense. You win the game. Many quarterbacks in NFL history have been great game managers. Like, and that's what he is. Trent
Mark
Dilfer on the Ravens.
Yeah, Mark
Like
Sanchez.
Mark Sanchez. Like, what's his name? David Garrard was like one of the best game managers I've ever seen. I mean, started quarterback for the Jags for like 7 years. It felt like, and he was not anything spectacular, like by a long shot. But he just could manage the game. That's all he had to do. Is like, yo, the Jaguars had some solid pieces around them, had some linebackers, had good defense, all that blah blah. Like, that's all you had to do was not lose the game. Put your team in a position to win. Keep the score close. Play solid defense. Make your third downs. Make your accurate throws with timing. They're going to be in a good position to win the game. That's all Jacoby has to do. Like, so I'm not surprised the Browns won that one. Like
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Deep down inside, my pettiness wanted the
Baker to
Panthers
win.
to win. Yeah,
Ah,
yeah. Because I wanted to see because it's good TV. Like if he wins, what the hell is he gonna do? Look what he did with Oklahoma and them. He literally planted that flag at Michigan State. Was it Michigan State? I think it was.
you knew
Yeah,
something was coming. You knew something was going to happen if he did. He probably would have planted a freaking Panther flag in Cleveland's middle end zone, or it was
yeah.
probably to the yard line, and then it would have been like a whole big brawl.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh yeah.
exactly what happened. But it would have been electric, like you said. Would have been electric. Shoot,
Hmm.
I'd have been down for that.
I would have loved to see that one. And then they
Oh
named.
yeah.
Here's the best part. I joke with my friend. I was like, hey, look, the Browns made Baker Mayfield the mascot of the team. You see the new logo for the new mascot?
No, I didn't.
I joke with him. I was like, Keith, they made Baker the mascot. He was like, stop lying. I was like, nope. I was like, here you go.
Oh, I did see that. Jesus Lord God.
I
I
was like,
did see that.
he's on the team, but they still made him the mascot.
I did
Oh,
see this.
I'm so bad. I'm so bad. but but yeah, that was a good game for the Browns to win. And Cooper didn't have a great game either. And that's the one thing too. Like when your number one receiver, Amani Cooper, has a bad game and you still win.
Yeah, I mean, you ain't wrong with that. Amari's that's for a lot of people get stayed away from him in fantasy. Like I thought about going to get him, but I was like, let me leave that alone. I figured just because he's gonna be there, they're gonna try to force the ball to him at some point, and he's gonna be a beneficiary to it at some point. But I didn't know when, so I just kind of was like, let me not go. Let me not draft Amari Cooper. Let me just leave that alone. If it ain't running backs, I didn't want him on the Browns. Put it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, the Eagles won against the Lions, which was
To be expected, but like
yeah.
at the same time, like why'd you give up 35 points to the Lions? Like, so
But
it comes with questions against their defense for me.
yeah,
Like,
we'll see.
not
They're
for
still it's
nothing,
still early. They cleared up.
not for nothing. Your boy Hurts played decently well. I know how much of a Jalen Hurts fan you are.
It was a good week for some of the Bama quarterbacks too. Freaking 2-1. Well, I mean,
see,
somebody had to
see,
win. Somebody had to win.
see. I'm just
Wait,
saying.
wait. Somebody had to win because they were both Bama quarterbacks here, Mac Jones and Tua. A Bama
Yeah,
quarterback was going to win unless it ended up
you
in a
had
tie.
the Bama Bowl, man. You had the Bama Bowl.
Yeah.
Mac versus Tua twice a year. Mac versus Tua.
Then your Giants beat the Titans.
Yeah, yeah. Me and Benji talked about that last night, but we talked about it at decent length, not fully. Like because me and him we started talking. We'll be there for like 6 hours talking. But yeah, it was a good. It was good. It was a good second half. I won't say it was a good game because it was a complete effort. First half was atrocious. It's terrible. The defense held their own. Played I'd say more than held their own. They played very well the entire game. They had their spots, which is to be expected for again a team that's finally accepted and is making the steps to rebuild the right way. Like the defense, they held their own. They did pretty well in my opinion. Like the offensive line, it still has a lot of work to do. And like I broke it down as far as Andrew Thomas to me needs to be recognized as one of the best left tackles in the league. Definitely, probably the best young left tackle in the league, but one of the best left tackles in the league, up and coming at least, because the kid's grading out like top 5, top 10 every single week. The biggest position for us is that left guard position. Our center Feliciano, he's only on a 1 year deal. Got a lot of young depth pieces behind him that are young guys that came out around the same time in the draft wise, but the way this guy Bobby Johnson has the O line moving, at least in the run game, I'm kind of happy and excited for what he could possibly do with his developmental pieces. Because Feliciano's a little older. He's like 32, I believe. He's only on a 1 year deal. Then you got Gawinski, who he was mauling people in the run game, but leaves a lot to be desired in the pass game. Evan Neal's only credited with one pressure, though he did get beat once or twice. But Neal had a good game. So there's a lot of positives to it from the Giants game. Like I said, offense not great in the first half, turned around in the second half and really turned it on. My boy Saquon is back in full effect, and you know how I feel about that. I
I
hope
love
he
it.
just keeps it up. I hope Saquon just keeps it the rest of the season. It's my guy. I hope we bring him back, a full extension, whatever we gotta do. But he needs to be featured. Needs to be a Giant for life. That's another guy. That's one guy who needs to be a Giant for life. Um, but yeah, I won't get all into the game. I want to get to these week 2 previews and the week 2 predictions. I don't want to spend too much time on just the Giants. If you guys want to hear us in depth, check us out. Last night, me and Benji, we talked all about the Giants game. Uh, but yeah, let's do these week 2 predictions because this is what
Oh,
I'm like.
oh,
I'm excited.
real quick about my other
Real
favorite quarterback from the NFC East. One of the major injuries so far, Dak Prescott with his hand.
Oh my gosh! Like
Yeah,
I don't wish ill on anybody. I really don't. I don't wish injury on anybody. I don't wish ill. I don't want people to ever be hurt or anything. But man, what does Dallas do? Like, where do they go to now? That's it's just
and that's the thing that doesn't make
like,
sense because he's like what out 6 to 8 weeks.
yeah, out
That's
6 to 8 weeks.
that's a month and a half, and granted, that's what 4 to 6 games. If they have a bye in that time, then that's 5 to 6 games, right? My math right? No, 4 to 6. It could be 4 to 5 games. So
Yeah,
they already said they're not gonna get another quarterback.
yeah,
You
I saw
could have
that too.
gotten Jimmy G at least for 1 year to keep you in there, and then have him as a backup just for the rest of the year. You know,
I don't, I don't know, man. Like they sat up here and they said we're not going after Jimmy G. Supposedly they're gonna just rock with who's it, Cooper Rush and Will Greer from everything I read and what I was told and just, different sources that I saw on Twitter. But and that's what I've been seeing everywhere. It's like we're just gonna stick with Cooper Rush and Will Greer, and we're gonna rock with them. That's pretty much it. So I'm like, you're gonna stuck with Cooper Rush, so you lost what 19-3 against the Bucks when you had Dak playing quarterback. You're really gonna put your money on Cooper Rush for the rest of the season, so Dak gets back at least, and facing the opponents that you're gonna face, you think is gonna be favorable outcomes. I don't know, it's just tough. I don't know, and it's like my other thing is you guys have a lack of weapons now. I guess you have Pollard, you have Zeke, you have Schultz, and then your receiving core, you have Lamb, but again, you need a quarterback to get the ball to Lamb.
mm-hmm.
Is Cooper Rush or Will Greer those guys? I don't think so. And then it's even if CeeDee Lamb starts to have a decent game, a team can just key on CeeDee Lamb and take him out the game, and now it's beat us with all those other guys on the other side.
Yeah,
Like,
until Michael Gallup comes back, and he's like what out for 4 weeks, I think it is.
yeah, he's out still. So, you're not coming no time soon either. So, I don't know what they're gonna do. I truly don't know what they're doing. Their
It's like
defense looked
what's that?
not sure the defense looked okay, but offensively they struggled mightily. And again, even when Dak was in the game, they struggled mightily.
Yeah,
I know the Bucks defense is good, but damn, and their offensive line leaves a lot to be desired too.
mm-hmm.
They
It's like I said in the chat. It's literally the Eagles' division to lose because I tried to talk bad about the Giants, but the Giants still. Like yes, it was a good win against the Titans. It was a good win, but there's a lot that needs to be seen with the Giants to make sure that they're the real deal. Besides this week one win, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I'm not even like I says. I know I'm I was ecstatic over the win. It was a great, amazing team win. I love seeing all the emotion of it, the passion that these guys out, these men are out here playing with. The coaches are coaching with. Dable got, he was pretty emotional about it. He almost like he was crying for a second. It was amazing to see. Like I'm not, but you know me, I'm not one of those people that's like, yo, we won week one, we're going 17-0 straight to the Super Bowl. I'm not that guy. Like I'm just not. So I so now, like I said, we talked about it last night. It is interesting because now you look at the next three games for the Giants, and they're all now our favorable matchups. You look next week, we have the Panthers. I'm like, we're actually favorites to win that game right now. The betting odds, we're favorites to win. And then you have, I believe you have. I said it last night, but I believe it's Dallas. I believe we have Dallas and we have the the Bears. And I'm like, you got we have Dallas with Cooper Rush, and you got the Bears, and they weren't that good. We only lost by I think a touchdown or two, right? Maybe 10 points last year, and our team was terrible last year. If we go
Yeah.
out and we play the Bears like we played week one against the Titans, we're gonna put up like 30 on those guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I don't know. The Giants have potential to go 4-0 in the next three games, but
Yeah.
am I gonna? But I don't know. We'll
I,
see what happens with it.
I think the Bears game is their trap game.
It could be. It very well could be. It depends on how the schedule is going. If we're up here sitting up here at 1-2, then we might win. If we're sitting up here at 3-0, the Giants could be Giants and just sit up here and blow the game for some reason because when things are going too well, sometimes we tend to crash.
Yeah. Yeah. So, real quick, the first game of the season, the Bills and the Rams. Golly.
We called it though.
We
Called it.
did.
You want to talk about a Super Bowl hangover? Yeah.
That was a bad hangover, man. That's like I just turned 21. I'm gonna drink everything type of hangover.
We don't know how to act. Don't know how to
No.
act hangover. They got
No.
steamrolled, bro.
Yeah. It's like we
Steamrolled.
said that Whitworth retiring is a big loss. Woods not being there. Yeah, Cooper Kupp got his off, but it's still tough. Like, you don't have that extra target like in Woods. So it was
You
just
needed, like they were saying, like they needed more though. Like, yeah, Cooper Cup got his, but you still needed somebody else. There was no Odell. There was no Robert Woods. Like, and then Cam Akers just did not get going. They started mostly with Darrell Henderson running the ball. Like,
yeah.
and Stafford looked like vintage Detroit Lions Stafford. He'll throw for 300 yards and 5 picks. Like
Yeah.
I used to win. I remember I won a fantasy game one year because Stafford threw for 500 yards passing, and I had him at my quarterback. He threw for 500 yards passing, and he had like 2 touchdowns and like 5 interceptions, and I still had like 40-some points from him because he had 500 yards passing. Like, I'm like, yo, I can only imagine what my score would have been if you didn't throw 5 picks. Like,
Yeah.
But
That's crazy. All right. Going to week 2. Let's go. Let's get it. All right. Start off Thursday game. Chargers versus Chiefs.
Where you going? I know where I'm going. I'm confident about this one.
That game with the Ravens was a good one, but the Chiefs showed me something. The Chiefs showed me something. So I'm going with the Chiefs on this one.
I'm going Chargers. I'm going with my boy Justin Herbert. Should have been a Giant. That's not a podcast. I'm going with my boy Justin Herbert. I think it's going to be a shootout, and I think the Chargers are going to come out on top.
This is going to be like a game in like the 30s, close to 40s.
I'm thinking 30. I'm thinking 38-35. That's what I'm thinking.
32, 38. Yeah.
All right. I'm going Chargers.
I'm going Chiefs.
What
Next, we got the Dolphins at Baltimore.
Ew, it's ugly.
Who do you got?
I know last time they played the Dolphins, figured out Lamar Jackson, that whole offense, and Lamar and Drake, the offense couldn't adjust. But that being said, Brian Flores and his staff aren't there anymore. So, oh man, I'm going Dolphins. I want to go Dolphins because
I knew you would.
I want Dolphins because I don't know. I think they played well last week, and then I think they played well last week, and I look at the Ravens receivers, and like no offense to y'all, but they played the Jets last week, and you guys have a solid defense, but you know I don't know. Like they found ways to score on you guys, but I think the Dolphins have a solid defense like yours, and I think they're going to just play more sound. And the thing is, like, when I look at the Raiders, the Ravens, excuse me, not Raiders. When I look at the Ravens' offense, they still have question marks at the running back position because I think Mike Davis isn't getting the ball anymore. J.K. Dobbins is still working his way back from injury, so he's not 100% yet. And then just as far as the receiving core, again, you still have Devin Duvernay, Rashad Bateman. You have people that still have to prove some type of something, consistency. I know Duvernay had a game last week against y'all. I think he had close to 100 yards receiving and a touchdown, but I think they have like Byron Jones over there, and I think the Dolphins are going to pull this one out.
I got the Ravens on this one. I got the Ravens. I just think they're gonna give Tua fits. He's not playing. He was playing the Pats and everything, but this is a different type of system he's playing against. I think they're gonna give him fits, and I think he's gonna turn the ball over at least 2 to 3 times, at least. And I think Baltimore to give Baltimore chances to capitalize on scoring. I see this like a 21-10 game.
I'm thinking 23-17.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. What we got?
My Jets at the Browns. All right. Because it's this. I'm sticking with the Jets on this one. All the way. Let's go. We got to get this one. We got to get this one. I need this one. Magaha!
I'm gonna go.
Show me the money.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Browns. And I'm gonna go Browns because I have Nick Chubb in fantasy and he can do well. So I'm gonna go Browns. That's it. That's the statement. What we got next?
The Commanders at the Lions.
I'm going Lions for the simple fact that the Commanders screwed me on $200 last week in FanDuel. Bastards. Ridiculous. How do you Antonio Gibson needed 56 yards rushing. He got 51 and I lost $200. I'm going Lions. Stupid ass Commanders. And the Lions put up 35 points on the Eagles. I think the Eagles are far better than the Commanders. So I want to go Lions.
That is true. But it is the Lions. I think
they're in Detroit though.
They are in Detroit. I'll stick with the Commanders. This is a different week than last week because last week we were like kind of like on a lot of these.
Yeah.
This one we're just going back and forth. Holy shit!
Oh yeah, no. Gotta shake it up. And on top of that, you're putting your faith in Carson Wentz. You're going Carson Wentz.
It's early in the season. Carson Wentz is good at the beginning of the season. It's like after week 8, we're like, stay away from Carson Wentz after week 8. It's still early. It's still early. You can have faith in Carson Wentz.
Oh my god, going Carson.
We got Colts at the Jags.
Where are you going?
Damn. The Jags lost last week, but the Colts couldn't even beat the Texans.
Yeah, like
I'll take the Colts. This is crazy because I actually think the Jags will be competitive in this game.
I think so too.
It'll be like a 20-17 or 20-14 Colts.
The Jags almost beat the Commanders last week.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like I'm going with the Colts. I think Matty Ice has this one. He won't do a Falcons. He'll remember, I'm not in Atlanta no more.
Oh man. I asked
Matty Ice.
I'm gonna go Colts on this, and just because we both went Colts, I guarantee you the Jaguars are gonna win.
Oh jeez.
I guarantee it.
Oh, watch them tie again. Watch the Colts tie again. Sons of bitches, man.
Yo, that has to be like the first team in NFL history to tie like twice in the season, or tie back-to-back games in the season. Something. It has to be some type of rule.
If they tie, it's got to be some kind of record like that.
It's got to be some type of record, bro.
Ooh, this is gonna be a good one. The Bucks
in New Orleans too.
It's gonna be a good one because this little rivalry game is a good one. Then you have Jameis playing his old team. That's gonna be that's a tough one.
Yikes. This is good. I gotta think about this one. Huh.
All right. This is gonna be a shootout only because Jameis Winston has it in him.
Yep.
And that's the crazy part because he can get you 300 yards and 4 TDs with 3 interceptions. Or it could be 4 TDs with 5 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't know where his INTs is going to be at, and he got his color corrective eye surgery, like I think last year. So it should have fixed the problem, but we'll see. Since I live in Tampa, I'm gonna go with the Bucks. I'm gonna go like 38 Bucks and 32 Saints.
I'm gonna go Bucks here too. My head's telling me Bucks, but my guts tell me Saints. But I'm gonna go with my brain on this one. I'm gonna go Saints. Not Saints. Sorry. See, my gut's trying to tell me to shut up. I'm gonna go Bucks on this one, but I don't think it's gonna be that high. I don't think it's gonna be 38-32. I'm thinking 27-24. I'm thinking around there. Or maybe like a 32-27 kind of thing. I don't think it's going to be 38. But this definitely would be a good game. It might come down to like a game-winning field goal. Might be like 24-24 and hit like a game-winning like something 50-something yard field goal, maybe 27-24, something like that maybe.
I think this is part of the 1 o'clock games. Let me check. Let me check real quick.
That would kind of suck because I feel like I want to see this on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, this is one of the 1 o'clock games. This is one of the 1 o'clock games.
I don't like that at all. Like, why? This is a really good match. I gotta know if it was Sunday night game. If that's the case, I gotta know that. Like,
yeah, you're gonna love the 8 o'clock game. It makes no sense, but all right, next game. The Panthers at your Giants.
Oh, I already explained. I'm going G-Men all day. I don't even have to explain anymore. Where are you going?
I'm going with the Giants as well. Saquon looks like Saquon again. You know, and they should win this game as long as Daniel Jones does what he has to do and doesn't have a brain fart. because we know he's he
Just
goes. Because he's not Sam Darnold.
just don't lose the game.
That's it. That's it. So
That's all he has to do. You don't gotta win it. You just don't lose it.
just hand it out to Saquon. Just throw little dump passes here. You'll be all right. Just do a Mark
That's
Sanchez.
it.
Except the butt
That's
fumble.
it.
You'll be all right.
Yeah, don't butt fumble. We don't need that. We don't want that.
Right.
We want that.
Ooh, this is another good game. Ooh. We get this one at. This is the last 1 o'clock game. Ooh-wee.
I'm going Steelers.
Man, where is Brett for this one?
I
would love to hear the conversation between Eric and Brett on this one.
I'm going Steelers because they're in Pittsburgh. The Dolphins. The Patriots struggled mightily against the Dolphins last week. Mac Jones is not 100% because his back's messed up. That's why if he even plays, which he probably will, but he's not 100%. So he takes a couple shots blindside, or he gets dropped to the ground a couple times, gets sacked a couple times, and that gonna start to flare up, and he's gonna start to tense up a little bit. Might not be able to move as much in that pocket. So I want to go Steelers. All necessarily they'll be without TJ Watt, which is going to kill them. But I think the offensive line of the Patriots isn't anything amazing. Again, a banged up Mac Jones. I don't care for the Patriots receiver core. I don't think either. Jacoby Myers is over there. Devontae Parker, who I've never really been a fan of, has been one of the more inconsistent receivers in the league since he's been in the league. I never was a big fan of him on the Dolphins. He didn't really do much to me anyway.
I think he had one good year, and that was it.
And then you got like Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry. They're both very inconsistent. They have some decent backs, but again, the offensive line isn't the right home about anymore. It's not like it used to be. They traded a lot of pieces away. A lot of pieces moved on. So I'm going to go Steelers here. I think same thing. The whole theme of what we're talking about today. All these quarterbacks aren't franchise quarterback necessarily, but they can get the job done. Trubisky goes out, hand the ball off, hit your play actions, hit your boots, throw with timing, with accuracy. You don't have to go out and win the game. You don't have to throw for 400 yards passing and 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, and 60 yards rushing. You don't have to do that. You could throw for 200 plus and have a touchdown or two. You could do the easy things and simple things as long as they're run right and crisp to a T. You don't have to go out and try to win the game. Just don't lose the game, Mitch. Defense will shut down the Patriots offense. I think the Steelers will win at home.
This is going to be interesting because of the fact that Najee left this past week came with a foot injury, and the results came back negative, and the foot's fine. So I'm wondering if he's going to play. If he plays, which he probably will, is he going to have a count on carries, which is going to suck because he's on both of my fantasy teams.
It's so bad when you make this about us.
Here's the crazy part. I had the number 2 pick on both drafts. And I took a number 2. Everybody's like, why didn't you take Henry? I was like, listen, man, when you reading stories about in the offseason, in the preseason, when Henry is in a sandbox, when everybody else is playing 11 on 11, something ain't right. So I picked Najee because Najee was the closest to Derrick Henry. Then I found out he left early in the game because of foot injury. I was like, damn it. So that foot injury is going to be a concern. The Patriots are not the Patriots like before. Bill Belichick, I think he just should retire because I think the mad genius might just be done. He caught fire and then ran with it, and he had a very, very, very good run. But that's the thing
Where
too.
you going, man?
Dolphins had Tyreek Hill. The Steelers don't have a Tyreek Hill. That's a safety valve.
They got a Pickens, they got a Claypool, they got a Deontay, they got a Freiermuth.
I'll go with Steelers because Pickens, because not just Pickens, and how crazy he is, but freaking Tomlinson probably going to buy black Air Force Seekers again.
I mean, they're home, so it makes sense.
Yeah. All right, next game. Atlanta Falcons at the Rams. Hey, look, the Rams about to win.
If the Falcons roll into LA and beat them too, I'm going
Yo,
Rams here.
so am I. I would laugh though if the freaking Falcons pull this one off.
Yeah, that'd be some
Like
crazy shit.
it would be some crazy shit. I mean, we both got the Rams on this one, but I would laugh if the Falcons somehow pull this one off when they almost pulled it off last week uh, against the Saints. They literally almost did. You know.
Yeah, I don't know. I I've not much to really say here. I don't think the Falcons line's gonna be able to handle the defense, the pass rush of the Rams. Nobody's Cooper Cup's gonna be unguardable. I think this one's pretty cut and dry. I think the
Yeah.
Rams will use this game, they'll get back on track and come out with a W easily.
Yeah. Seahawks at the Niners divisional game. This is going to be interesting.
This is ugly.
It's going to be interesting. You got two teams that one came off of a close, tough fought win. Other one came off a sloppy loss in the Niners. Niners lost Elijah Mitchell, which is a big loss for them in their offense. Trey Lance didn't have a good first week one. Geno Smith looked like freaking like an all pro. Golly.
That he did.
I think Seattle sets back to reality, and I think San Francisco gets this shit together, and I'll go with the Niners.
I excuse me, long day. It's tough. When I look at this matchup, both quarterbacks. Gino has a history of his inconsistencies and just not being, good overall. Trey's a little inconsistent in what he's done on the field thus far. Last week, again, proved more of the same. Again, like he said, the Bears took full advantage of the fact that the Niners were not ready for that weather in Chicago. It is in, San Fran. San Fran is home this time around. I don't know. Like, this one I really don't know about. This one's tough. I'm gonna go Seahawks on this one. I want to go out and take the Seahawks. Yeah, I
Wow.
think. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Seahawks. I think, like you said, the loss of Elijah Mitchell is big, and I think if you can get Trey Lance flustered, you think you have a shot at winning. They're gonna probably have to use Trey's legs a bit more, but and like I said, other than Kills out, and they have to go. They're gonna have to try to force Debo. They're gonna have to force Debo to get the ball more, but I don't know if the Seahawks defense plays the way they did against Russell and the Rams, who have better weapons with Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon and Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton and Alberto. If if the Seahawks defense, well, now I get they were in Seattle with the 12th man and it was a factor, but if that
That
defense can
yeah
play, if that defense can play the way they did week one against the Niners week two, I think the Seahawks will have a chance to pull this one out. Like,
yeah
because right now the Niners weapons aren't as good as the Broncos. They
no
only have Debo out there receiver. Ayuk's okay. Ayuk's all right, but still a bit inconsistent. They have, like you said, Mitchell being out is a big loss. Kittle's not playing, so I think the Seahawks catch the Niners when they're down. The Seahawks go 2-0.
yeah, and I think too the other thing too you have to remember is the Seahawks were pumped to play against Russell Wilson. Like I'm sure Pete Carroll got him pumped up to
Very
play
true.
against Russell Wilson. So there's a
Very
lot that
true.
went into that game, a lot of
Yeah,
emotions, a lot. So I mean, like that's and you
I
know,
think that can still hold true here though, because it's a big division rival, a big division opponent, and
it,
there's been bad blood against these two teams for like the past like how many years now? Like
Richard Sherman and them like it's years, bro.
right,
Back to
Sherman
the
and
original home,
Crabtree,
bro.
like yeah,
Yeah, it goes years. So like I won't put past it, but I think just coming off of that high from week one, I think that's gonna be a large toll, and you might see like a hiccup in here in this one. That's why I picked the Niners on this one. But I mean, you could be
well,
right. You could
well,
be right where it still carries over. You know what I mean? It's finicky like that. You know, it's either
yeah,
you're gonna still carry it over, or you're gonna hit that big drop and be like, bam. So you're going one way, I'm going the other way. So
yep.
we'll see how it goes. All right, next game. The Bengals at the Cowboys.
I mean, we already spoke at length about the Cowboys. Defensively, they didn't play that well. Offensive line, they're missing a couple. They're missing a good amount of pieces. Their left guard's gone. Their left tackle's gone. I believe they're. I believe there's somebody else is going off the offensive line as well. They have a rookie left tackle starting, and I think the Bengals have some pretty good pass rushers. But it all comes down to the quarterback. Like, who are they going with? It's going to probably start with Cooper Rush. If Cooper Rush shifts the bed, you're going to turn to Will Greer. But to me, it's all going to come in the quarterback play. Hopefully, Joe Burrow bounces back, and not just because I have him in fantasy, but hopefully he bounces back. They
Oh,
get the offensive line moving.
I have
Joe
him too in one of
Mixon
my
has,
leagues.
yes, we both need Joe Burrow to have a great game.
I'm about to
I'm
start. I'm about to
talking.
start him over Derek Carr. I had Derek Carr starting over him.
I hopefully Joe gets back on track. They get Mixon going forward. He gets like a good 100-yard game. Jamar Chase goes off like he always does, and hopefully Higgins is back in the lineup, and I think I think the Bengals should get back on track on this one, and beat the Cowboys pretty soundly in Dallas. What you got?
You got the Bengals, right?
Yep, of course.
Yeah, I go with the Bengals too. Um, if Will Greer doesn't come into this game and take over for Rush, he'll start in Game 3, just like that, just like that. And if he has issues, they're gonna flip flop between the two until Dak comes back. This is there's nothing to say on here. Mekhi Parsons is gonna try and do his best to keep them at bay, but excuse me, he can only do so much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He can only do so much. A linebacker can only do so much. All right, next game. The Texans at the Broncos.
Ugh.
This one,
Uh,
this one should be an easy one. I mean, they're playing in Denver. It's the Texans. I mean, yeah, they tied against the Colts, but that was the Colts and Carson Wentz, and you know,
you mean Matt Ryan?
yeah, sorry, Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan. Carson Wentz was there last year. uh, but yeah, Matt Ryan just had a brain fart, and it's Russell Wilson. I think he's going to be pissed, and they got better weapons. To me, they got better weapons, so I'll take the Broncos on this one, and they're at home too. Ooh, home opener. Yeah, yeah, Broncos. Broncos country. Let's ride.
Oh, um, I'll go Broncos. I won't ruffle any feathers. I won't
Bro,
ruffle any feathers.
you're in Jersey. What feathers are you gonna ruffle?
I was considering I was considering going Texans here. I'm not gonna lie.
I,
I was I
eh,
was considering being like I don't know, like like you said, they tied the Colts, and yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be a good game. I'll put it like that. I think it'll be a good game, but I think the Broncos will come out on top. I think, like you said,
28,
Russell. I think Russell
28-10.
comes out pissed. 28-10, 28-21. That's what I'm thinking.
Wow. Wow. Really?
28-21.
Shit.
Maybe 28-17, but I'm gonna go 28-21. Something like that. Something
Okay.
like that.
Okay. Okay. The Cardinals at the Raiders.
Mm. Um, I am. I want to go Raiders. I want to go Raiders. I think Cardinals are in Los Angeles or Las Vegas. Sorry, I think the Cardinals are in Las Vegas. I think Josh McDaniels gets his first head coaching win as a Raiders head coach. I think Derek Carr and Devontae Adams have a day. The Cardinals look like they struggled a bit, and they have no D Hop still. Yeah, they have James Conner in the run game, but I think the Raiders are. I think the Raiders are going to pull this one out. I think the Raiders should go to 1-0. I think the Cardinals fall at 0-2.
I also agree. I take the Raiders. I think the Cards will fall 0-2 for a bad start, and I think if Kyler Murray doesn't have a good to great game, then the questions will be asked. Fans will start asking, like, why are we paying this guy so much money? Which is crazy because Kyler Murray, he's valuable. He just got to mature a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He's got to mature a little bit. But I think Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, Hunter Reffler need to show up, my guy. You need to show up. He's on my fantasy team.
He's on mine too. I know he let me down last week, but I also had Devontae Adams, so you know.
Oh, you had the Bears? Golly.
I mean, no, different leagues. I didn't have them in the same league.
Okay. But yeah, I think this could go either way with the Cards. And they showed it to me in the playoffs. It's like either they're gonna, like last year, they're gonna put up points or they're gonna get points scored on them. So this is gonna be an interesting game. I'm not sure what the score is gonna be at, but we both agree on the Raiders. All right. So are you ready for the? Are you ready? Are you ready for the Sunday night game? Because you're wondering what Sunday night game was.
I can't think of what it is. What is it?
The Bears at the Packers. Yeah. Of all games this week, right? Of all games. This one is a Sunday night game. Like, I mean, I get it. It's a rivalry game. But, like we were saying earlier, the Bucks and the Saints is going to be a hell of a game. And it's a 1 o'clock game. Like
we can't flip those. We can't I guess Thursday already, but like hop on a plane somewhere else. Like go back over here.
It's not like it's outdoors and stuff like that. It's in the dome, so it's not gonna matter what time you play it.
You know, like dang man, like especially after like how both teams looked last week, the Bears won. The Bears won, I'll give them that. Like, the Bears won. Yeah, it was a gritty win. It was an ugly win playing in the rain and all the winds and all that shit. But, like, the Packers looked terrible last week. Like, Aaron Rodgers was running for his life against the Vikings. And the Vikings literally released their entire 2021 draft class, from what I remember. Like,
yeah. They're all gone.
The entire 2021 draft class. I mean, Kellen Mond, Janarius Robinson, like Wyatt Davis, they just released like all of them or most of them. And I'm like, so you wasted a whole year's, because I know it wasn't your regime. I get it, these weren't your picks, whatever, but like you cut all those guys and like, what the hell? Like, so I'm sitting here, it's just crazy. Like, you cut so much out of your foundation of your team, and yet you still came out, dominated the game. And everybody was waiting to see, is Aaron Rodgers going to be the type of quarterback that needs like good receivers around him, or is he going to be the type of quarterback that makes everybody around him better? Like, and as far as at least last week, it ain't look like he was making nobody around him better. I mean, offensive line was a little in flux, and they didn't look that good either. They got, again, Aaron Rodgers was running for his life.
Yeah.
So
he still hasn't picked the chosen one of his receiving corps to be his next number one target.
Yeah, they gotta have to figure something out. I mean, they have Romeo Doubs, and they got Amari Rodgers, Sammy Watkins, Alan Lazard, and Christian Watson. But like, I don't know. It didn't look good against the Vikings. And the Vikings haven't been like really good in a couple of years. I mean, they had like Mike Zimmer had them in a playoff run, but the past couple of years they haven't been really anything amazing. So for you to get dominated like that week 1 to the Vikings, I don't know. I might. Part of me wants to take the Bears here. I'm not gonna lie to you. Until I see something from the Packers, like I might take the Bears here.
You You want to start poking? Hey, do something. Do something.
The only thing that's holding me back is that they're in Lambeau. It's the only thing holding me back right now.
Yeah, but the thing is, the mystique
Like,
of Lambeau is in the winter, like when it's
yeah,
cold. So it's not
yeah,
even that at that point yet. And even then, like the
like,
Bears, you can't use that mystique against them because the Bears have Soldier Field. So it's like, bro, like your cold is just as cold as ours. Like, what's the difference? Like,
yeah,
you know.
you know,
So
I'm going Bears. Why not? I'm
the
going Bears.
Bears.
I'm going Bears over the Packers because go Pack, go like shit. So
I want to say the Bears. I really, really do, but I feel like they got a win they weren't supposed to get last week. And I think it's another one where, like, hey, welcome back to reality. And I think this is where the Packers actually get their W. I think this is where we see somebody from the wide receiver corps finally like trying to say, hey, I'm going to be the number one receiver here. Who is going to be? I can't put my finger on it, but this is when we should see. If it's not this week, then the following week, somebody should start putting themselves out there already as a number one receiving option for Aaron Rodgers. You know, I would like it to be Christian Watson. Not that I have him on a fantasy team, but it's because of the fact that he's younger, so it's like he can build longer with him. Lazard is there, he's experienced, but you figured it would be him, but I don't think it's gonna be him though. So, all right. So we have 2 Monday night games, apparently.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm looking at the reacts, and I kind of want to hit a react button. Just totally off topic. I just want to hit a react button. It's just there. It's staring me in the face, and I want to see it.
I love the react buttons. They're great. They're great.
All right. I'm sorry. I'm like a little kid right now. Monday night games.
All right,
Let's
here's the
finish
first
this
one.
up.
The Titans at the Bills.
Bills. I mean, you saw what the Bills did against the Super Bowl champs. They went and rolled the Rams. I kind of want to put money on the Bills going to the Super Bowl right now. But to be honest with you, I know it's
Yeah,
crazy. It's week one. I mean, it's week two, so I won't go crazy. But Bills in Buffalo. I'm going Bills.
yeah. What did Derrick Henry have last week? Like, I'm really interested to see it.
82 yards rushing.
Yeah, that's not a normal number for Derrick Henry.
G-Man locked him up. I think he had 21 rushes for like 82, something like that.
21 attempts for 82 yards, 3.9 yards average. He had a fumble.
G-Man locked him up.
So here's the thing: Derrick Henry is 28, but the man has miles on him, like miles. You know what I mean? Like he carried the load in Bama. He's been carrying the load over in Tennessee since he's been there for the last like what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons, 7 now. It's going to be 7. So it's like that's a lot of miles on those treads, man. So I'm going with Buffalo. Keep an eye on Derrick Henry. Does he come back to what Derrick Henry was, or is he going to be a shell of himself now? You know, does he start breaking down? Like 28 years old for certain running backs is the beginning of the end of the downhill. You know, especially if you have that much wear and tear on you. So, yeah, I said it. I said it. People don't. I'm not gonna like it, but somebody's got to say it. Somebody's got to say it.
It's
And the next one. Oh, speaking of, Ryan Fitzpatrick has said I think he said something. I can't remember what it was, but if the Bills do something, he will jump off the top onto under the table with Bills Mafia. I can't remember what it was that they had to do. I think it was win the Super Bowl or make it to Super Bowl or win it. I don't know, one of the two or something like that. Interesting host. but they had to accomplish something this season. And if they did it, then he'll jump off onto a table for Bills Mafia.
Oh God, what's wrong with this man?
I don't know, but all right. To the last the last game of the week 2. The Vikings at the Eagles. This is gonna be interesting.
I hope there's a power outage and the Eagles can't play the game. And they're forced to forfeit.
It's Lincoln Field, and they did have them before, didn't they?
I feel like it did.
I think they did
because it's Philly.
Yeah,
They do stuff like that. Yeah, the Giants fan in me wants the Eagles to lose this game, but I don't think they're gonna lose this game. I don't think the Vikings are. I think the Vikings are solid, but I just think they beat up on a bad Packers team that doesn't know what they are yet. I think the Eagles defense is way better than the Packers defense, and the Eagles, unlike the Packers and Aaron and them that have to figure it out with new pieces, the Eagles, yes, they added AJ Brown, but they have a solid veteran offensive line group, and they have some young pieces sprinkled in, like Landon Dickerson, who's only in the second year. They have, young running back core. They have, again, AJ Brown on one side, Devonta Smith on the other side. They have Dallas Goedert at tight end. These guys have at least a year or 2 or 3 playing together. They have type of chemistry and rapport built. So I think the Eagles are a better matchup than the Packers. But I'm gonna go Eagles here, and they're in their home. They're in Lincoln Financial, so I'm gonna go Eagles here over the Vikings. I don't have a score. Maybe like 24 or like 21-10 or 24-10, 27-10, something like that. That's somewhere around there. I don't think the Vikings are going to score that much because, well, if they do, maybe like 27-17, something around there. Then they have Dalvin, and obviously they have Justin Jefferson. Um, I mean, the kid's a baller for sure, but I think the Eagles defense will do. He'll have his yards, like I said before. Stephon Diggs and the Rams. He'll have his yards. He'll have his touches. He'll have his moments. But I think ultimately the Eagles are a more complete team than the Eagles. I think the Vikings and the Eagles are more complete. I think they're better. I think the Eagles are a more complete team than the Vikings. I think the Eagles pull this game out. What about you?
I'm going with the Vikings. I think
Really?
yeah. I think. Okay, so it felt like a fluke against the Packers, but I think the Vikings were the one team that was going to give the Packers fits this year. We know it was going to be the Lions. We know it was going to be the Bears, even though the Bears won week 1. The Vikings were supposed to be that one team that gives the Packers the competition in the division. They already got a win against them. I think the Vikings are going to surprise some people and do better than what they think. And I think they're going to prove it again this week. And I think they're going to beat the Eagles at home 28-20.
28-20.
And Jalen Hurts comes back to reality. He doesn't not have a great game like last week. Oh man, I'm horrible. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me stop, man. Let me stop. Nah.
This guy is Jalen Hurts hate. Oh my god.
No, man. It's just like people just like, oh, Jalen Hurts is great. It's like all right. In the Jets fan girl, man, everybody wants Mark White to start. Everybody wants Strebler to come in and take over. I'm like, bro, Strebler's only played in the playoff in the preseason. He hasn't stuck around any team. There's a reason for that shit. It's a reason for that. Like you're trying to have a player that played in the preseason that played against teams' 3rd and 4th defenses and players that were freaking fighting to like have a roster spot. And he made some plays against those guys. What makes you think he's gonna make plays against like top tier talent? You know what I mean? Mike White has a better chance because we saw what Mike White did last year when he started. And then you have some people saying, "Oh, Salah and the Jets organization are scared to start Mark White because he might do much better than Zach Wilson. Is he really going to do that much better? If he does they really care? They need to win. They need to win, and it will look bad, yeah, if Zach Wilson can't beat him. But that's not their issue. Their issue is not that. That's Zach Wilson's issue. So I just I got the Vikings on this one, pretty much, and we pretty much agreed on like 9 of the games.
Yeah, I like that we mixed it up though. We gotta do, dare to be different. I have my bold predictions. You had your bold ones, so.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I like it.
Are we in agreement that Bucks Saints is gonna be the game of the week, or do you think it's another one that's gonna be there with it, or is a better chance of
what game?
The Bucks versus the Saints.
Yes, I think so. Like when we go to the other matchups, there was a couple ones that were kind of like, ooh, okay, interesting. But coming off of what both teams did, watching the Saints with that comeback win against the Falcons, and then the offense kind of clicked in the second half. You look for them to be a little more consistent and start at the beginning, and not just have to wait till the second half of the fourth quarter. And then the Bucks, and then just complete domination, dismantling of the Cowboys. It's going to be interesting to see the two. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. It's going to be interesting to see what happens as far as like the Bucks coming out and seeing if the Saints defense can handle the Bucks offense. You got, I think Godwin's out. Or he might be, I think he's out. He might be questionable, but I think he's out, I believe. But you still have, Julio, and you're still going to have Mike Evans. Still have the offensive line is just like when they're down so many pieces on the offensive line, they still continue to be good and open up running lanes. Fournette's running people over. Brady's gonna knock the rust off because he had a bad throw or two in the Cowboys game. Brady's gonna be Brady. It's gonna see if the Saints defense can hold up, and then I'm very interested to see how James operates with the Saints offense as far as Michael Thomas is back. I really want to see Olave and Landry. You know what Kamara can do, but I really want to see how Chris Olave and Jarvis Landry fit in that offense as far as their production, their targets, and how Jameis is going to see them. So, I'm very interested in that game. I wish it was a Sunday night game.
Yeah, this one or the Chiefs and the Chargers. So either one of those two would be like the games of the week.
Yeah, I like that one too.
But pretty much is it. It should be a good week.
Yeah, I believe so. I do. I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Well, those matchups. Oh, all right. Week 2 predictions are in the book. Thanks for watching, everybody. We're gonna end it here because I need to get in my bed. I'm exhausted. But as always, if you like the video, like, share, comment, tell us what we did wrong, tell us what we did right. Let us know what we can improve on. Give us your thoughts on our picks. If you think that Paul's crazy, because he is, let us know. Let us know what you feel. He is. See, he's letting you know. But until then, on to the next episode. Hopefully, maybe we'll see. Maybe we're waiting to see. We see a Victory Formation Monday Jets edition. That's what I want to see. I want to see you and Jay. I want to see you and Jay come on Victory Monday and talk about a Jets W that they went into Cleveland and got one against the Browns. That's what I want to see.
If we do that, if we win in Cleveland, you ain't gonna hear the end of it. You not for me. Not for me. You think I'm crazy? You's not gonna hear the end of it.
That's what I want to see.
Especially my boy Magaha over there. He's not gonna hear the end of it.
That's what I want to see. Victory Formation Monday. Give me a Victory Monday Jets Giants podcast. Let's both go out and get some W's, and the four we can sit down and talk about the shit on Monday or Tuesday. That's what I want. Victory Formation Monday just sounds better than Victory Formation Tuesday. So, but let's both go out and let's get some W's. But that's what I want to see. You and Jay sit down and talk the Jets games. Get the W against the Browns. That's what I want to see. Yep. That's what I'm most excited for.
It's a 1:00 game too. Woo-wee.
Yeah, I want to see that. I'm definitely gonna watch that. I'm watching all the NLs, of course. But until then, night everybody. We appreciate it as always. Thanks for watching. Until next time.